Hey there, fellow DIYers. Are you ready to tackle your next project and upgrade your sleeping situation? I feel you. It's frustrating to spend a lot of money on a bed frame that just doesn't cut it. And don't even get me started on trying to find something that fits your personal style. But fear not, my friends. Building a DIY plywood bed frame is not only affordable, but it's also customizable, so you can finally have the bed of your dreams without breaking the bank. Before we wrap up this video, I just want to remind you all to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. By doing so, you'll be the first to know when I upload new DIY projects and tips. Plus, you'll be supporting me in creating more awesome content for you all to enjoy. And who doesn't want that, right? But wait, there's more. If you're someone who's really into woodworking and always looking for new project ideas, then I've got great news for you. I have a link in the video description that will take you to an amazing resource where you can access 16,000 woodworking plans instantly. That's right, 16,000. It's like having a woodworking library at your fingertips. No more searching the internet for hours trying to find the perfect plans for your next project. With this resource, you'll have access to plans for any project you can think of. So, if you're ready to take your woodworking game to the next level, click that link and check it out. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty details of building the perfect bed frame, let's talk about why this is such a great option. For starters, plywood is a strong and durable material that can withstand a lot of weight and pressure. Plus, it's a lot cheaper than buying a pre-made bed frame. And let's be real, who doesn't want to save a little money? When I was looking for a bed frame, I had trouble finding something that was both affordable and stylish. I wanted something that matched my aesthetic but wouldn't empty my wallet. That's when I stumbled upon the idea of a DIY plywood bed frame. And let me tell you, it was a game changer. I was able to create a bed frame that not only looked great but was also sturdy and supportive. But don't just take my word for it. One of my friends was struggling with back pain and couldn't find a bed frame that provided enough support. After seeing my plywood bed frame, she decided to give it a try. And you know what? It made a huge difference for her. She was finally able to get a good night's sleep without any discomfort. So, if you're ready to get started on your own DIY plywood bed frame, you're in the right place. In this video, we'll take you through the entire process step by step. And don't worry if you're not a pro builder. We'll break it down into easy-to-follow instructions that even a beginner can understand. By the end of this video, you'll be ready to create your own dream bed that's both functional and stylish. So, grab your tools and let's get started. Trust me, you'll be snoozing in style in no time with your very own plywood bed frame. The first step to building the ultimate DIY plywood bed frame is to gather all the materials you'll need for this project. Trust me, you won't want to leave your house halfway through this project to pick up any missing pieces, so make sure you have everything you need before you begin. Now, you'll need to gather some essential materials, including a birch plywood bed frame, a plywood bed base, a plywood bed platform, screws, sandpaper, and varnish or paint. These materials will ensure that your bed frame is sturdy, stylish, and affordable, which is exactly what we're going for with this DIY project. And let me tell you, choosing the right materials can be a real headache. You don't want to go for something that's too heavy and not durable, or too light and flimsy. Trust me, I've made that mistake before and ended up with a broken bed frame that wasn't worth the time and effort I put into building it. So, make sure to pick the right type of plywood for your bed frame. Birch plywood is a popular choice as it's durable and gives your bed a sleek, modern look. The plywood bed base and bed platform are also essential pieces that you'll need to get your hands on. But there are many other different types of plywood out there, but the sturdiest option is definitely marine-grade plywood. Now, you might be thinking, marine-grade plywood? I'm not building a boat, I'm building a bed. But hear me out, folks. Marine-grade plywood is the strongest type of plywood out there, and it's specifically designed to withstand moisture and weathering. So, if you want a bed frame that will last you a lifetime, marine-grade plywood is the way to go. It might be a bit more expensive than other types of plywood, but trust me, it's worth the investment. Let me give you a personal example. A few years back, I built a bed frame out of regular plywood, and it started to sag after just a few months. I had to reinforce it with extra support, and even then, it still didn't feel very sturdy. But after learning about marine-grade plywood and giving it a try, I've never gone back. My current bed frame is made out of marine-grade plywood, and it's been going strong for years. I don't have to worry about it sagging or breaking, and I know it's going to last me a long time. And let's not forget about the aesthetic benefits of marine-grade plywood. It has a beautiful, natural wood grain that looks stunning in any bedroom. Plus, since it's so sturdy, you can create unique and intricate designs without worrying about the structural integrity of your bed frame. And if you ever decide to take up boat building, you'll already have some experience with the right type of plywood. Don't forget about the screws, sandpaper, and varnish or paint. The screws will hold everything together, the sandpaper will ensure that everything is smooth and even, and the varnish or paint will give your bed frame the finishing touch it deserves. Alright, now that we've got all our materials sorted, it's time to get started on building the bed frame of your dreams. Alright, now that you've got all your materials gathered, let's move on to the next step, which is to cut the plywood to the correct size. Before you start cutting, it's essential to have a well-thought-out plan and accurate measurements. Trust me, I learned this the hard way when I built my first bed frame. I was so eager to get started that I didn't measure twice and cut once, and let's just say my bed frame didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So, be smart and take your time to measure correctly. Start by cutting the headboard and footboard. If you're going for a standard size bed frame, then the headboard should be 40 inches tall and the footboard 20 inches tall. As for the side rails, they should be 75 inches long and about 6 inches wide. The slats that support the mattress should be around 2 inches wide and around 28 inches long. Make sure you mark out each cut you're going to make, so you don't make any unnecessary mistakes. Cutting plywood can be a bit of a challenge, but with the right tools and some patience, it can be done quickly and easily. For cutting, you'll need a saw, and if you don't have one, don't worry. You can always rent or borrow one from your friend. Trust me, it's worth it to invest in a good quality saw. It will save you time and effort in the long run. Remember to be safe while using the saw. Always wear protective gear like goggles and gloves to avoid accidents. Take your time, don't rush, and be patient. Make clean cuts, and if you do make a mistake, don't worry. You can always sand it down to fix any rough edges. All in all, cutting the plywood can be an enjoyable experience if done correctly. So grab a cold drink, put on some music, and get ready to cut that wood like a pro. It's time to bring your bed frame to life. Let's move on to the next step, assembling the bed frame. Now, before you get too excited and start hammering things together, take a moment to read the instructions and gather all the necessary tools. Trust me, it's not as fun to stop halfway through and run to the store because you forgot a screwdriver. First, let's attach the headboard and footboard to the side rails. Now, it's important to use the right screws and make sure everything is squared up and level. Don't worry if you mess up, mistakes happen. I remember once I built a bed frame that was a little lopsided, and every night, I felt like I was sleeping on a hill. Once you have the headboard, footboard, and side rails securely fastened together, it's time to add the plywood bed base. This will provide the support your mattress needs to keep its shape over time. Trust me, you don't want to wake up one day and find out that your bed is starting to sag. Finally, add the plywood bed platform on top of the bed base. This is where you get to show off your creativity. You can choose a plain wood finish, paint it to match your walls, or add some fun designs to make it truly unique. Oh, and don't forget to add slats to the bed base for extra support. You don't want your mattress falling through in the middle of the night. See, wasn't that easy? Now you have your very own DIY plywood bed frame, built to your exact specifications. Sleep well, my friend. Alright, now it's time to make your plywood bed frame look like a professional did it. Step 4 is sanding and finishing your masterpiece. You want your bed frame to be smooth and free of any rough spots that could cause splinters or scratches. When I made my first plywood bed frame, I spent a lot of time sanding it. I thought it would only take a few minutes, but I was wrong. I had to go back over it several times to make sure it was completely smooth. Once your bed frame is sanded, you can paint or varnish it. The choice is yours. You can go with a bold color or keep it simple and natural. I painted mine white, but I've seen some really cool bed frames in bright colors like yellow or even pink. But before you get too excited, remember that the finish is the key to making your bed frame look good and last long. You want to use a paint or varnish that is durable and will protect the wood. Make sure you read the labels and pick the right one for your bed frame. Also, don't forget to wear a mask while sanding and painting. You don't want to breathe in any sawdust or fumes. Safety first, people. Let me answer some frequently asked questions about using plywood for a bed platform. First up, what's the best plywood for a bed platform? The answer is simple: birch plywood is a great choice. Why, you ask? Well, for one, it's strong and durable. You don't want to build a bed platform with flimsy, weak plywood because then you'll end up with a wobbly bed that will collapse at the slightest movement. Nobody wants that, right? Birch plywood is also affordable and easily available at most home improvement stores. So, you don't have to break the bank to build a sturdy bed platform. Plus, it has a nice natural wood grain that looks great when finished. If you can add extra bucks, go for the marine grade plywood as explained at the very beginning of the video. Now, let's move on to the next question. Do you need a box spring with a plywood bed frame? The short answer is no. You don't need a box spring with a plywood bed frame. In fact, the plywood bed base and platform provide ample support for a comfortable night's sleep. So, you can save some money and skip the box spring altogether. However, if you prefer a higher bed, you can add a box spring on top of the plywood bed frame. Lastly, how long does it take to build a DIY plywood bed frame? Well, the answer to this question varies based on your experience level and the complexity of the design you choose. But let me give you a real-life example. My friend, Bob, who has no experience in woodworking, built a simple plywood bed frame over a weekend. He just followed a few online tutorials, got the right tools, and voila! His bed was ready. Of course, he had some mishaps along the way, like when he accidentally drilled the wrong hole and had to start all over again. But that's part of the DIY process, right? It's all about trial and error. So, don't be afraid to give it a shot and see what you can come up with. That's all for today, folks. I hope this video has helped answer some of your questions about using plywood for a bed platform. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.